student friends, man, I hope you're having a great Tuesday. We're jumping into John chapter 2. We finally got over chapter 1 where Jesus has been calling people to himself, and we're going to jump in and see the first miracle that takes place. Kind of a cool, unique miracle, but it all, again, points to who Jesus is. So John chapter 2, verses 1 through 12. Here we go. On the third day, there was a wedding at Cana in Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Jesus was also invited to the wedding with his disciples. When the wine ran out, the mother of Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." And Jesus said to her, Woman, what does this have to do with me? My hour has not yet come." His mother said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." Now there were 6 stone jars there for Jewish rites of purification, each holding 20 or 30 gallons. Jesus said to the servants, "Fill the jars with water." And they filled them up to the brim. And he said to them, "Now draw some out and take it to the master of the feast." So they took it. When the master of the feast tasted the water, now become wine, and did not know where it came from, though the servants who had drawn the water knew. The master of the feast called the bridegroom and said to him, "Everyone serves the good wine first, and when people have drunk freely, then the poor wine. But you have kept the good wine until now." This is the first of his signs Jesus did at Cana in Galilee, and manifested his glory, and his disciples believed in him. After this, he went down to Capernaum with his mother and his disciples and brothers, and they stayed there for a few days. So what we're seeing, Jesus is invited to a wedding party, a major celebration. A lot of people are there. They offered the guests drinks. They offered them wine. And what we see taking place is that there was an issue. They ran out of beverages for the people. Now, Mary comes to Jesus. I'm sure Jesus is relaxing, hanging out with his disciples, talking to people. Mary comes to Jesus and says, "Jesus, we have a problem. We're out of wine." And Jesus' response is, "Woman, what does this have to do with me?" Kind of like, "Mom, what does this have to do with me? You know my hour has not yet come." That hour is very important. That hour is the hour that will carry through the book of John, leading up to the final hour where Jesus offers his life on our behalf. So there's a couple times you'll see this comment of "his hour has yet not come." That hour is referring to Jesus being crucified on the cross for our sins. And so he says, "Mom, my hour has not yet come." And we see Mary's faith just for a moment, because we see, one, when the problem arose, who did she go to? She went to Jesus. And then not only did she go to Jesus and ask, it's like she knew it was going to happen, even though he said his hour hadn't come, because she tells the servants, just do whatever he tells them, right? Do what, if he says do it, you do it. And that's exactly what happened. Jesus says, "Go get these 6 large vats of water, fill them up to the brim." And then what he says is, take the spoon out and go give it to the master. And Jesus had transformed this water into wine. There's 2 things you can see in this passage. One, you see that Jesus has the power to transform that wine. Now, why is this so important? I'm going to read out of a book. Again, I've been using Christ-Centered Exposition. Great book you can get on Lifeway or Amazon. I'm just going to read a little paragraph that points to this, because I thought this is too good for me just to try to reiterate. Here we go. Ready? It says, "Why does this account give purpose of the water jars? Is it more impressive to turn water into wine if it's in jars used for purification? The inclusion of this detail shows that the rituals associated with the old covenant are giving way to something far greater. The shadow found in the law has been replaced by the substance. Now that Jesus is here, things have changed. The water of ceremony has been replaced with something far better. The external purification has given way to an internal cleansing." What great words to see that what's taken place with this water to wine is more than just water and wine. It points again to who Jesus is, and that he is far greater than, better than the law of the Old Testament. And he will be the one who offers his grace to us. And we'll talk about that later. But we see Jesus has the power to transform the water into wine. I'm pretty sure none of us can do that. No magic tricks were happened here. And you've got 2 things you can answer with this passage in that. You can either accept that Jesus did that and that it was a miracle and he demonstrated his power and who he was, or you can reject it and say that the Bible is foolish or a fairy tale and can't be trusted. It's your choice on what happens there. I believe it was a true story happened to pointing to who Jesus was and the power that lies within him. So we see that he has the power to transform water into wine. And the last thing we see is that Jesus has the power to transform people's lives. These signs John talks about in verse 11, he says, these are the first of his signs that Jesus did in Cana and manifested his glory, and his disciples believed him. That God is beginning to show who he is through Jesus, that Jesus will reveal who he is, and that people's lives will be transformed. So what's more important than just seeing water transformed to wine is that Jesus has the power to transform your life. Will you let him? I hope you have a great day. I'll see you next time.